Okay, there we are. Gig Legacy Coach meeting 5 February 2024. And isn't it scary that we will never see January 2024 again in our lifetime? So the year is fast on its new rails. I trust you all had a good breakaway over Christmas and ready for the new year. I have a sense that although for some people who haven't prepared for this kind of time that we're in, this could be quite a challenging year, but I believe for people like ourselves who's been on a certain journey for a few years now, we will find that this year is moving us forward and propelling us forward even faster than in many of us could have imagined. So we're going to talk quickly, just again, positioning. There's an announcement of the next gig presentation. We're going to have that in every month as well. And then by that time, our speaker would be here for the session on capital legacy. So I don't have to tell you too much about this journey that people are on. For those of you I haven't had a chance to share with, so far we talked about the family journey from struggle to significance. We've then since then found out it's actually true for businesses as well, from struggle to significance. We've spent a lot of time this past year to develop this investment model from struggle to significance. And then I've been very much involved last year and tapered it off towards the end of last year with Time to Rise. But out of that came a new focus on building kingdom communities. And in December, I believe God gave me some very exciting download as to how communities can also be put onto this path from struggle to stability to success to significance. Now, as we move forward, to constantly just remind you what would be your role and your world as a legacy coach. You're going to have people in your team that are individuals, so they're not yet married or they could be singles. You're going to have families in your team, and I believe we're going to see more and more inflow of families. But we're also going to start seeing business owners, and I know the board is busy, or Karen is busy with an application. And if this one doesn't come up from, I think, CETA or somewhere for business funding, we're going to start that fund sooner or later. But then I also want to tell you that we're now also going to play in the world of communities. And I'm not going to go into that tonight. That can be a session all on its own. But that's the various groupings. And an individual would have slightly different needs than a family, than a business owner, than a community. And your role as a legacy coach throughout this process is to be the relationship manager, representing everything we do in gig and the gig movement, but also in gig wealth in terms of the journey. So you could be seen as a private banker, and I can tell you now that bar is not set very high. I'm a member of, I've got accounts with FNB, and as a rule, they're very good, but if you go into the branch, that's good. But if you're trying to get any private banker online to talk to, almost impossible. Now, you will become that private banker that will have, your team will have direct access to you. And that way you'll take a lot of pressure off the back office with Karen and Charlotte and the stuff they have to deal with. And then you will facilitate people on their wealth journey, which in time we'll tell you more and more as we go on. So in this process, you'll be supported, let me just get rid of that one, by gig support structures, the bank, gig trust, which specifically looks after the legacy coaches. We're going to see more and more visibility of CCC, which is the Community Chamber of Commerce, also a trust, but that's where we can give Section 18A certificates, tax certificates to donors for specific causes, and then gig wealth. And then you're also going to interact more with wealth coaches and business coaches. So for the time being, the wealth coaches would be me and Muzi, but in time to come, we're growing that area as well as the business coaches. And then through gig Institute and Gig Media, we already got a panel of specialists of people who can specialize in anything from registering a mutual bank to any kind of business support that we already have in place. So we've come a long way, but just to outline the world and the roles of a legacy coach. Now, your big thing is going to work on the area of relationships, but I know many of you, your programs, you are where you are and you're part of Gig because of you being a leader in your area, which makes you already very busy, very tight. And where do you find the time for all of this? But what I've learned is that with resources of time and money and relationships, which is a finite resource for all of us, there's only three things that we can do with it. And if we're not careful, we waste it. And a lot of people have that consumer mindset. Life is bad, but they play games and they're on the social media all the time and they're not doing something practical. Then just to live, you have to spend time, you have to spend money, you have to spend relationships. And that's just to get through your day. So that's the short-term aspect of life. And people are so busy 24/7 on that part of it that they don't have time to do the last part, and that's to invest their resources by becoming a steward, by becoming a builder, and developing that kind of mindset. And you can only do that when you invest it in people. Any other kind of investment will not have will not be long term. So in that, we're going to focus a lot this year to communicate the journey, the investor journey for membership or for members. And as people walk from struggle to stability to success to significance, they're not very excited about savings. They all like the loan share and they want to make loans, but very few people actively save during that struggle years. And I know Sarah says we need to have something before struggle. And Sarah, I'm not sure if it survived. I don't know. I agree with you. There would be more and more people even before struggle, because struggle at least assume there's steady income. And a lot of people won't have steady incomes anymore as we go forward. But even so, I believe the big thing that will take people out of this process will be the first part. If you have nothing, your little that you have can only be used in crowd investment or crowdfunding. And that's where we are already busy with people that if their money accumulated to 500 Rand, they can already participate. But we say you stay in that phase, the struggle phase as an investor and a part of the crowd investment until you have 10,000 available. Now you'll see us bringing more and more opportunities to the table. You already know about the cattle and bridging finance. And then in time, we believe that we'll be able to go into trade. Jason has already talked to you about gold, and there would be others. Then, as you get past 10,000, so these are just milestones that I'd like you to start getting familiar with, that when you talk to people, give them these milestones and help them to move from one milestone to another one. Once people get past 10,000, they can for themselves tick off the fact that they now are an individual investor, and we can even play with the idea. And obviously, this is money that's under assets under management through Gig Wealth. But we can look at even giving people investor certificates as they continue on this journey. And why I call it individual is with 100,000 Rand, you could even put a deposit down of 10% and take out a loan of 1 million at the bank for property. So you are recognized as an individual investor. And then as you move to success, you're now financially free. You've got more than 3 sources of income, one of which is at least residual income. And now you can call yourself a sophisticated investor while you're in the bracket 100,000 to 1 million. You continue invest in these categories, but we call you sophisticated because you now understand enough of the investor language to assess risk on your own. And if you want to invest in crypto and some of the other stuff coming onto the market, by all means, you're welcome. And then ultimately, and we are starting to get one or two people in that bracket, we want to get people to already start thinking of themselves almost in the space of the Oppenheimers and the Ruperts and the Maponyas long before they reach that sort of money. But we bring the bar down to $1 million. If you have $1 million plus investable income spread over many asset classes, we will recognize you as a potential family office. And what that means is we can then help you set up your professional wealth team, which is outside your family, but that can annually meet and look after your investment goals and things. And then you can carry on with your philanthropic stuff while we make sure your money grow, keep you as tax friendly as possible, and so forth. So this is going to become more and more of a focus this year and part of our language. And to help you there, I have developed a form, but I will give it to each of you personally. So Muzi already has the link for himself, but each of you will get a link that's only you. So there it will stand Get Wealth Legacy Coach Ian van Niekerk or Lerato or Sarah or whoever. And that's your personal link that when you communicate any financial service news or aspect to people, then in your last paragraph, you can just say, if you have any need for any financial service, please click on this link and submit it. And it gives them their first name, their last name, mobile number, email, and date submitted. We then already know this referral comes from this legacy coach. And then standard, they can ask for financial services required for short-term insurance, life cover, investment, will and testament, and any other that we can then talk to them personally. And the rest is just splurge to say your data will be protected and you give us permission to communicate with you. So you'll get that in the next day or two. Then I'm not ready for it yet, but since I've now completed that online course on the cell phone, which is lessons 1 to 7, everything about GEG and the products and how to use it, as an advanced course, which is then optional for people, we're also going to talk about how to build your B quadrant business. And it will focus mostly on getting through, I almost call it the practical MBA. So I'm combining all my MBA training and skills with what I've learned in this business, but that's going to teach people that once they've gone through this course, they will be able to build any B quadrant business in any industry anywhere. And we say you need to learn the B quadrant business, which will give you residual income because you already have residual bills. Why not have residual income? And what if you can, in the process, build a business that will pay for your lifestyle and travel, and it doesn't have to come out of your take-home pay? And what if you can do it international? So we'll go into that in more detail as we go. And then the course that I released late last year, I trust all of you had a chance to work through it. I know, Ian, you did. I think Lerato, forgive me if I leave some of you out. But it's now structured as a basic course, which gives people the intro, positioning, bank products, momentum to break through, legacy sales, risk mitigation, investor club, geek income, and career opportunities. And here we also talk about they should consider becoming a legacy coach. So speak to your current legacy coach if you need more information, because we want to help you grow and build your organization. Then somewhere in this year, this will be developed, and then for only people who invest in the advanced course, will there then be a bonus course where I will convert my current legacy book into a practical, call it a legacy program with tools and templates that will help people through the process. Just to let you know as well, after tonight, I'll send you the first 2 booklets. I've taken my book and I broke up the chapters into booklets because I know people are so busy. If you give them a book that's thicker than 2 micron, then, it just put them off, too much to read. Now we're going to give them little booklets. And I want you to control the issuing of booklets to people where you can say, if you're interested, let me know, then I'll send you the first booklet. And then they get the chapter 1. And if they finish that and they like it and they see value, at the end of each chapter, we encourage them to contact their legacy coach to ask for the next booklet. So that's also going to be a further arrow in your quiver this year as you move forward. Then where we're going with this, I think we mentioned in previous meetings that we have just maybe in the region of 700 paid active members in GIG right now, but we've got over 2,400 free members that for some other reason found us, signed up, but then nothing much happened further. So they've not been put through this whole onboarding process to move them from free member to paid member and the rest. And that's what we're going to focus on more this year. So of all the people out there, and I tell you more and more, I get people who contact me to say they've heard of GIG on the internet or through someone and they researched us on the internet, but now they need a physical person to speak to. So they sign up as a free member, so we get to know who they are. Now we need to follow up with them. And we will, in this coming year, develop these structures more streamlined so that it's an automated process almost. So that once they are a paid member, I refer to a committed member as someone who has now got all the 4 accounts, the savings, the 32-day call account, the LLS account, and also the investor account. And they, whenever there's a meeting, they try and attend it. But that's what I mean by committed member. And then over time, if you can have 10 committed members, you are a steady, stable legacy coach. And you're going to see all the wealth creation that we're building in for legacy coaches is based on the fact that you got at least 10 active committed members. You could have more, but it's based on that. And then as a legacy coach, having built that basis, you will, over time, out of 10 committed people, at least find one other person like you who loves the program and want to be trained as a legacy coach. And then once you have your first legacy coach developed, that makes you a mentor. So just to give you a bit of a vision of the future. So a committed member is someone who's gone through courses 1, 2, and 3, gone through the annual self-assessment, they've gone through a wealth coach interview. And what we mean by that is you as a legacy coach have set up an appointment with a wealth coach, myself or Muzi, so that we can sit down with them and just plan their financial goals and start helping build the necessary financial structures around it. I should actually change that. CFI is now bank product usage. Teach people how to do that. And then when we do advanced course, new life usage, and a committed member is someone who likes the program so much, he has recruited at least one other member. So that gives you that idea. So then to almost in summary, remember, we have a choice to take our resources and waste it, or to take our resources and spend it. But this year, I want to encourage you to learn how to become an investor of resources by empowering someone. And in forthcoming sessions, we'll drill down deeper as to the power of the multiplication power of investing 10 hours per month in empowering others, but in the process, build yourself 100, then 1,000, then eventually even 10,000 hours a month working in your team on which you start earning a residual income. So we'll unpack that as time goes on. And then just starting this coming Monday and every month, there will be now a live presentation of GIG here at Eagle's Nest. So I think I've already sent you the invite. If you haven't received it, request it and I'll send it to you again. But please get the word out to your team so they can invite their people. So for now, I'm just focusing here in Gauteng again. But anyone, anywhere else, like Bruno, you in Worcester, and the rest of the team, Ian, feel free to start setting up similar meetings for yourself, doing gig presentations, just the first presentation on how to become a gig member. And then we have a minute or two for questions and answers before I'm then handing over to our guest speaker for tonight, Shane Pienaar from Capital Legacy. I see he's just recently joined us.